Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dorian Show. Let me introduce you. Let me give you a quick intro. This guy here is a new comic, super funny. The first time I've ever seen him do comedy, he was killing it.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the only time though. It kind of
No,
weaned.
No, you've been killing it. And he also hosts a very popular podcast called Culture Dumps.
Yeah, we're in the
Give it
dump
up.
layer.
For Ryan Lichten, everyone.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
you're welcome for having you over.
Yeah, thanks for letting me do this podcast at your house. Dude, give it. We'll just go into your podcast because it's amazing what you've created with your partner. Can you just tell us what Culture Dumps is to the folks out there?
Yeah, so we're what you would call a deep dive podcast, where it's a research-based comedy podcast, right? So, but rather than like true crime or something where pop culture history, we kind of tend to gravitate more towards scandals or things that you forgot about. Like you had asked me, you're like, oh, did you guys ever do anything about Coca-Cola? It's like we wouldn't do anything about Coca-Cola, but we would do one about like New Coke. Right. You know what I mean? Like when they changed the formula and then brought it back like as Coca-Cola Classic, and like that's the kind of thing that we do. Yeah, we're over 100 episodes now if you count like interviews, because like on top of our research-based interviews, we also do our research-based episodes. We do interviews.
Right.
So I've had like Dave Cyrus on, who's like SNL alumni and everything. We had Academy Award nominated director Eddie Schmidt on, the creator of True Crime Trading Cards from the early '90s on. So we do a lot of different stuff,
Nice.
but generally, yeah, it's a research-based comedy podcast.
Would you guys do let's say Michael Jackson's hair catching on fire for Pepsi? Would that be a topic?
So no, but Michael Jackson is one of those where he kind of treads the line of a dump. Yeah, because he's so famous, so iconic, so influential that you couldn't call him a culture dump, but he's had so many dump moments.
I see.
Like another one like that is like Metallica, right? Like we've had like several episodes that are loosely based around Metallica, but them as a band is not a dump. So with Michael Jackson, we did an episode about living with Michael Jackson. If you remember the Martin Bashir documentary, where this BBC, or actually I don't even think it was BBC, it was the other major British news outlet or whatever. They got unprecedented access to live with him, and it made him look like a fucking creep, and it begat the second molestation trial.
Yeah.
So like we did a whole episode about that documentary, and in that we were able to kind of tell his whole story.
Sure.
And like with Metallica, for instance, we did one about when they lost the first hard rock Grammy to Jethro Tull, and like everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And also like Napster is like another, or their documentary, Some Kind of Monster, right, where it's like all these like tough metal guys having to sit through therapy. Yeah, it's like that's the kind of shit that we do.
How do you guys decide what to pick? You and your co-host.
Yeah, my co-host Parks Miller. It changes. Like we kind of are locked in. Like we know now on site what it is, but it's hard to explain it. Like, but it's usually something that people be like, oh, I remember that shit. You know what I mean? Like if it wasn't on the forefront of your mind, but when you hear it, it comes back to you. That's kind of how we do it. Also, we start every episode with why is it a dump? So I explain it. Then at the end of the episode, I like to do a what does it all mean, which is kind of like our Jerry's final thoughts.
So what makes something a dump? Like when I first started, I thought the dump was just you giving us information.
No, it has to have some kind. Like I have to be able to break it down. Like first, why is it a dump? And then why is it important that we talk about it? Right. So like there's a lot of things that like people say like, oh, you should do like this video game or this thing. If it doesn't have like a impact culturally and even the small way that could be made into a bigger deal just through my writing, then we won't do it. But if we can, then yes. Like so for instance, like we did Pogs, right? Now we might like Pogs we did because there's this whole scandal of like the woman that made it big, like the idea was stolen from her and it became this huge thing and then it crashed, but like we wouldn't do say Tamagotchis because it was just like a really popular thing. It didn't there really wasn't like a thing for it. Sure.
But Beanie Babies you would do?
Beanie Babies we did 3 episodes on.
Wow.
Yeah, because like with Beanie Babies it's like we all know like there was like a economic bubble that was formed, right? Beanie bubble as it's been known. And with those, it's like, yeah, there's the stories of people sinking tons of money into it and then they're worth nothing. But the story was so much bigger than that because Ty Warner, the guy that created them, was like a weirdo. He's a plastic surgery addict. He was fairly abusive. Like, he stole lots of ideas from women in his life. Like, that's a concurrent theme throughout the entire Beanie Baby story. So there's like this man in the tower element to it that goes far beyond, like, and also, like, you know, at our live show, because we do live shows too now, albeit rarely.
Get tickets.
Yeah,
when it's available.
Well, yeah, who knows when the next one's going to be. But we did a whole thing about tragic Beanie Babies. So there's like the Princess Diana bear, right?
Right.
That was 1997, Princess Diana's horrible car. I call it a fantastic car accident because it fucking was fantastic. I mean, holy shit, blammo. But so, like, there's that. And it's like, you know, you make this cute little Beanie Baby to, like, remember this horrific thing. And then they have 9/11 Beanie Babies. And there's 2 of them, like one for each tower. You know, like, Pentagon gets no love in Beanie Babies. Like, just the 2 towers.
Are those worth money? Like
none of them are worth money, dude. Not a single fucking Beanie Baby.
I mean, now they're not, but at the time were those.
At the time, the Princess Diana bear was the most
really
valuable.
Need that 9/11 Beanie Babies.
Well, see, by 2001, what happened was at the start of the millennium, like from 99 to 2000, that changed. There was going to be no more Beanie Babies being made. So there was this big thing where it's like, no more Beanie Babies, get them while you can. We're not going to be producing them. So the market skyrocketed and everyone bought them all up. And then once 2000 hit, he said, we're having a whole new line of Beanie Babies. So all of a sudden, the market that was just established for something that wasn't supposed to exist is now mute because there's going to be more.
Right.
You know, and so by 2001, it was already in the shitter, and it was more of a charity thing. Like, if you bought the Princess Diana one, the money would go to her foundation. If you bought the 9/11 ones, it would go to the Red Cross. My favorite tragic Beanie Baby is the Ariel bear, named after Ariel Glazer, who was, I believe she was 8 years old. She died of HIV and AIDS complications, and she had contracted it from her mother's breast milk, Elizabeth Glazer. Her mother got it from a blood transfusion. That was back when no one knew what was going on. And her father was actually Paul Glazer, who was on Starsky and Hutch. Like, so that's like a weird kind of like, there's all these like, this is culture dumb shit happening right in front of you right now. Like, like, oh, like horrible tragedy, like pediatric HIV, you know, like height of this horrible thing, and then Starsky and Hutch is involved, and then it becomes a Beanie Baby. Like, what? Like, that's culture dumps.
I gotcha. Would the airplane lady be a culture dump?
Oh, no. Well, see, we have a bunch of bonus series that we do on our Patreon. So, like, patreon.com/culturedumps. And, like, so on there we have side series. Like, I do one called Docu-Dumps, where I just review documentaries that I like. I'm a huge documentary head. And then we have one called Ryan's Report, where I do, like, current events or whatever. And then we have one called Squirts, which essentially is like diet dumps. So like something like that, right? Like the plane lady, it's not fucking real. That, like, that's something that we would talk about on Squirts, because like I'm not gonna like dive into this woman's life and take all the time it would take to give her the full treatment. But I mean, sure, like viral stuff is Squirts material. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen that new viral trend of the, what do they call it, the NPC lady?
Oh yeah, yum yum yum.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck is that shit, dude? Dude, kids are fucked. Like, there's no going back from the society that we're building for ourselves.
I'm pretty sure what that is like
ice cream. Yep, giddy up, yum yum yum. How do I make money? No one wants to see me do that shit though. Like, this whole new wave of social media money making schemes are not for guys like us, dude.
I know, but like I feel like, well, I think she's super hot.
Oh well, yeah, for sure.
And she's making like $7,000.
Are you gonna pay her $1 to say ice cream like 4 times though?
No, but I think
I would take her out to ice cream 4 times.
She's like the precursor to OnlyFans. I think kids are paying her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but kids don't make money, so they're getting it from somewhere.
Or but their parents or whatever. It's on TikTok, right? You could do all that.
Can you imagine like being the poor like fucking wife, like your kids are locked in their room, like spending money secretly on like yum yum yum, and then the dad is secretly in his office spending money on OnlyFans, and like there's just not enough money to go to Disneyland because everyone's secretly doing those masturbatory activities, like with that, like not even sexual, like I mean like mentally masturbation, like you know.
To having her go gang,
and they're just like
ding, it's ding, better ding, than Disneyland, dude.
Yeah, and meanwhile the dad is doing like they found a way to make cam girls for kids. That's what that is.
Yes,
dude.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm gonna use that.
But I think if you're an attractive girl, and I feel like I don't know but for like me as a dude, like I find probably like 80% of women pretty attractive.
Easy.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. Yeah, no, I would have sex with a sandwich, dude.
Yeah, right. And if she's super hot, she can make like $7,000 a day. Like I feel like any woman can make like $200 a day.
Dude, if I made $40 a day, I would be amped, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, you know how hard it is for me to make like right now, if I by the end of today, if I had to round up $100,
Yeah.
impossible.
You gotta go on TikTok and be like,
yeah,
gang,
gang. No one wants to see this do that though. You know what I mean?
Maybe I was just thinking about it on the way here.
Maybe we should take it back. Yeah.
No, there's like, you know what mukbangs are?
Oh yeah,
You know what people eat. But I mean, you need to have like startup capital. But like, I imagine if I'm on a diet, by the way. That's why all I think about is about food right now.
I just watch
But I think about like getting like a spread of food, and then people pay me to take a bite out of food.
Yeah,
that might work.
Yeah,
some fat guy eat there's like $1 to eat that. Take a bite out of that.
You gotta make
chicken.
it gross though, dude, because like no one's gonna like. There's no reward. Like, oh, like I'm gonna pay this fat dude money to eat some shit that he really wants to eat anyways. Like, if anything, I'd be paying you to see how long you could hold out. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll give you $5 if you cannot touch a single fry on this table for half an hour.
No, but I think people, if there's a variety, if I was getting like nuggets,
you should start with like bugs
pizza.
or something that people want to pay you, to see you eat. You know,
dude, I feel like people watch people eat because to like live vicariously through them. So it might not even need to be like disgusting. It's just if I get a variety of like pizza, fried chicken, sushi, they would pay me to like eat a piece of sushi. Dude, okay.
This sounds just like such a pipe dream, dude. Like
I should try.
What about, like Nikado avocado? You know,
that's who I was gonna bring it up. You guys should do. Are you just waiting for him to die before you do a culture dump on that kid?
No. So what we do sometimes, like for instance, like on culture dumps, we'll do like banned toys, for instance. Like there's so many banned toys, but we can't like do them all. Like lawn darts doesn't get a whole episode. So what we do is we group them up. We call it like a roundup or like banned toys volume 1. Like I could do like disgusting fat fuck, mukbang guys volume 1. You know,
that avocado kick is just.
Or I wouldn't. Okay, so I would say Nikado avocado. He's not a culture dump, but mukbang is.
Oh, okay.
Like as a genre, and then within discussing that,
and
then we
there's
would
scandals about these like little Asian girls are not like swallowing, like they're spitting it out.
Ugh.
Disgusting.
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? That is some devious shit.
Dude.
Yeah, and you can tell. I mean, you can tell who's swallowing the food and who's not, dude. It's no secret.
Yeah. How are they eating? I've watched so many like homemade documentaries on that avocado kid.
Oh yeah, me too, dude. Yeah, no, I'm into like there's like
his boyfriend is like all sad and fat. Also,
they like beat each other and shit. Like yeah, it's fucked up. No, I got like so I'm crazy about like dark side of the web kind of shit right now. Like not dark web, but like dark side of the web. And my buddies and I, we very kindly refer to it as the internet freak show. Like there's like that guy Long Neck. You know, and like there's been all these people that have made like there's the chick with the world's biggest mouth. You know, there's like she does like big food challenges. Like yeah, and
there's an Instagram chick that does. I don't know if she's the one.
Yeah, and she like takes like 3 bite Big Macs.
Yeah.
So like to me, that's like freak show. That's like vaudeville. Yeah, she is kind of cute. Yeah, but that's like vaudeville freak shows. Like you know, like Step Right Up. Check out this dude eating all this shit. It's a freak show. You know, like Gucci Berry is another one. Like who takes like anything you could think of in your house, like hit a guy in the nuts with it. Like that's what he does. But he's huge. Like one time, this is the grossest thing I've ever seen any of these people do. So you know, like dabs, like taking a dab, like for weed. He cut off one of his skin tags and fucking dabbed it, dude, and smoked his skin tag full. Dude. So it's like. Yeah, I don't know when we'll even start that, but
I don't even know anything about that guy. But I do know
Gucci Berry, dude. Yeah.
The Nicky Avocado guy is crazy.
Yeah, he I don't like this shit online too, where like people like fuck with people. You know, like in like Home Depot, they go up behind someone's ear and like shit. Like I don't like those guys. And Nikado, he kind of walks the line of that because he'll go into like a Target and like with his rascal like knock over a whole thing of books. Like someone has to fucking handle that afterwards. Like that sucks.
He does other things.
Like he gets out of the house. I don't know how, but he does.
I just thought he like eats and his boyfriend's like, "You're a fat fuck," and he's like, "Why?
You made me like this." Yeah, well, and he's got that one partner, that chick who's like 2 Nikado avocados, and they do like. They'll just make like 50 packets of the spiciest ramen, and then just eat it with their hands. Like, dude, like it's fucking crazy, dude.
I love it, dude.
Yeah,
but he's making like millions of dollars, which
he's doing all right. Yeah,
but, like, how does he enjoy that money if he's just, you know?
I mean, you buy like if you know if you have fun with what you do, it's not work kind of a thing.
Does it look like he's having fun? Or do you think he likes that morbid
I don't-
torture, his self-torture?
I think he loves eating the food. I don't think he hates like eating like $100 worth of Popeyes every day. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Would you like?
Yeah, I would, dude.
Yeah, I
as a
guess so.
fat guy, like,
Yeah.
here's the thing: when you're a fat, I don't
Like,
know. If
I'm
this is
not
true,
a fat guy, by the way.
Right.
Like, I'm talking a lot of shit, but like, I'm big.
but when
Like,
you're like eating like shit for a long time, like after a while, the food doesn't even taste good no more.
see, I've never gotten to that. I eat until I'm full, and then
Uh-huh.
I stop.
No, I meant
But-
like if you're eating like junk every single day,
No, yeah, it'll make you feel bad.
then like pizza just stop tasting good when you're eating pizza every day.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I feel like chicken fingers are always going to be good no matter what.
That's
like,
true.
Like chicken fingers are the. I used to say pizza, but I think you're right. Pizza because it's like the
Yeah.
cheese and everything would just like block you up.
Yeah.
But chicken fingers, like people in prison get excited for chicken finger night.
Right.
Like, you know, like chicken fingers are even good where the food is the absolute worst.
Right.
So, or at least
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
decent.
yeah.
So that I could do every day, maybe. I don't know. I think you're right though. Like you have to have a salad day.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, I don't know, dude. How did you how did you come up with the idea with the culture dumps?
Well, we
Or
started
you and your
in 2019, maybe even 18. We started a show called Podcast 99, which was the quintessential history of Woodstock 99, right? And Woodstock 99 would be and is, in our opinion, the ultimate culture dump, right? Because there's so
Right.
much like legacy attached to it with the original Woodstock and like all these bands, and it was such a thing at the time. Huge scandal, like true crime, like there's so much to it. So we
Yeah.
spent we still do the show. It's been like 5+ years now, and we still do
okay.
it. But what we did was we first bought up as much research materials as we could. This is far before Netflix did a documentary or HBO or anyone really.
Right.
And so all this stuff was cheap. Like I got this tape that you can watch on our Patreon, patreon.com/culturedumps, that we dubbed the mystery tape. And it was a reporter's notebook. So it was essentially like a very independently put together documentary of handheld camera footage from the local newspaper in Rome, New York. And once we saw that, we're like, yes, we could do an entire podcast about this. None of us had ever done it before. Like, we'd all been in bands. That was our only performing thing. I was in a band called Sons of the Bitch, and we were kind of like a joke band.
Yeah.
So that's really my only, like, comedic, like, output that I ever did. But I always worked in museums at the time. I was the assistant curator at the Museum of Death. So it's like research and all that stuff is my thing.
Okay.
So we started doing that. We watched every single set of every single act that played at that festival, that was the hardest part. And then we would give you a breakdown of the band's history and what they're up to now and everything. And we did it in real time. So there's dozens and dozens of episodes of this. And we bought newspapers. We interviewed people that went, played at it, worked at it. We still do that part today. And then once we were getting to the end, we knew that we wanted to do another show. Our first idea was to do an Anna Nicole Smith show, like strictly. It was going to be called Pickles, Pills, and Playboy. But then I was like, we'll run out of that,
Right.
You know, and we just made like 60 episodes out of one subject. Like, we got to do something better. So then we started thinking of other things we would do, and then we realized all these ideas for a podcast could be an episode of one.
Okay.
So then
Did you guys find success with the Woodstock 99?
Oh, for sure. I mean, not like it's
I
not-
mean, did you make money off of it?
yeah, but not to the like.
Okay.
I mean, not to the extent that like that question makes it sound. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
no, what like the cool part was, you know, we had no idea what we were doing. Like the first 20 or 30 episodes I can barely listen to because we would get so wasted. Like, but like the research was there and the information's there, but like we're drunk, we sound like fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like, you know, then we finally get more serious with it, and then Culture Dumps is like a well-oiled machine at this point. But as far as money went, yeah, like when we first started a Patreon, we didn't really know what we would put up, so we started doing set commentaries where we would watch a Woodstock 99 set, record our reactions to it, Mystery Science Theater style. And I was like, oh shit, like we're making like a couple $100 like a month. Like that's fucking
Wow.
crazy. Like, you know, we had no idea.
Yeah.
And from there that started. And then like there was buzz around town. Like people knew about it and stuff. And like I would run into people that would ask me if I heard it because they knew I was into Woodstock 99. I was like, yeah, it's me, you fucking idiot. But like, you know, or like the only like time I big timed with that was like, some girl was like, oh, have you ever listened to Podcast 99? And I was like, if you went to, or played Woodstock 99, contact it, because that's like our tag at the end. She's like, oh, fuck! Like,
And
you're
she,
the guy.
Sucked your dick immediately.
No. She was like, cool. But
was it successful like right when you guys started?
No, it took a while. But the thing was, though, is we had a lot of friends that were like really supportive.
Okay.
So like everyone was sharing it at first. So like I would say we had a couple hundred people tuning in every week or every episode by like the 6th episode.
Oh wow!
You know,
Okay.
and then it like from there it just grew. And I mean, we have people that still hit us up in like Ireland or fucking Japan or Germany. I mean, like all over the world now. And that's the good part about podcasts is they're evergreen. So it's like even though we don't do it anymore, it's still there, and new people are finding it all the time.
Yeah.
But then we did live show. Like we did a live show in LA at Zebulon. It was huge. It was a major thing.
Yeah.
And then we did one in Atlanta. And then by the time 2020 started, we got a contact from forgot what company it was at the time, but it was a production company that was making a Woodstock 99 documentary.
Oh, okay.
And so we got paid as research consultants, and like all we really did was give them our email list of people. Like that's all they like. We answered like one question.
They didn't put you guys on the doc?
No, dude, no. And I was like, so but in their defense, they're like, well, we just want people on camera that were actually involved. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like that were there, whatever. And that's something that the HBO document, because then what happened was, while that one's in production, we get contacted by Netflix.
Oh wow!
And they're like, we're making one. And when we told them that we already signed a contract and we could see if maybe we could do like I was like, if we can be on camera for you guys, then we can. That's not part of our contract for the other one.
Right.
And they're like, that kind of told us the same thing. So what they did was they just assigned someone. I'm guessing is what they did. They just assigned someone to listen to the shows and got all the names of everyone that we ever interviewed and like got all the info that way. And
dude.
and then HBO was the
they
first.
Should put you guys on a doc. You guys.
I know.
Are like one of the biggest, I guess.
I'm not hot enough, I don't think. I don't know.
It's kind of like a documentary. It's like an audio.
Yeah. That's what we. Well, and also the Ringer came out with an 8-part one, like, and one of the biggest boosts for us actually with Podcast 99 was. The 20th anniversary of Woodstock 99 was rolling around, and Vice did a thing about it, and they said the Ringer is releasing an 8-episode thing. Meanwhile, the independently produced Podcast 99 is already up to episode 24, or whatever number it was, and like I was like, "Fuck Vice, dude!"
Yeah.
Like, yes, and so that like instantly, like, boop, like,
are you guys better than?
We're different, we're like, I mean, we definitely have more info, and also like we never went at it. I mean, maybe initially we went at it from like the fire and brimstone kind of like narrative that everyone seems to have with it. Yeah. But the more people we talked to, it's like there was like 200,000 people there. Do you think everyone had the worst time of their life? Like the majority of people had the best time of their life. It's just the blotch marks on it that make it terrible.
What happened? I don't know anything about Woodstock.
What? Dude, you don't even have enough time for this, dude. Fucking
what are the bad stuff? People just getting raped and shit.
Rampant sexual assault. 8 reported. And the ones that were reported, I mean, are like heinous gang rape, pull you into a tent kind of things.
Oh, okay.
Like horrific, you know. And then like just thousands upon thousands of on camera, like. That was the other thing. We tried to tread lightly when talking about some of that stuff because we're potty mouth and we have dirty senses of humor and stuff. But like we're not making fun of any of that stuff. Sure. But one of the things that was so rampant was whenever the cameras would pan the crowd, you would just see hands come up and grab girls' boobs, like whip. And so we called that shoulder titties. Like if you saw like bare breasts, we called it shoulder titties because they're always on a guy's shoulder. But then we'd be like followed by like 6 gropes seen during this set, and we would like keep tally of that because it was so bad. But then also, the prices were so gouged and there was so overpopulated that and the place, it was an Air Force base, so like there's just tarmac mostly everywhere. It was 100 degrees that weekend. Water was like $4 a bottle starting in 1999, made its way up to $7 by the end of the weekend. So people tore the fucking place apart. They burned it to the ground. Like they tore everything apart. They looted like refrigerated trucks and then blew them up. So like literally when you see footage of this, it's like Vietnam. It's just like
Was this the last one? Did they end it after that?
They did. They tried to do a Woodstock. They tried to do a Woodstock 30. I think it was or whatever it was 40. No, Woodstock 50. I'm getting all my math wrong. Okay. And it was gonna have like Jay-Z and Miley Cyrus and The Dead and like all this shit, and like that was announced like right at the 20th anniversary of because it's going to be the 50th. So all these stories are coming out reminding everyone how terrible Woodstock 99 was, and then they announce, hey, and by the way, there's going to be another one. and then that one fell in scandal. Like acts start dropping off, people weren't getting paid. You find out that they defaulted on their loans, they never had clearance to book it in the venue that they had, like all this shit. So it just fell apart. And then the founder, Michael Lang, who founded the original Woodstock, he died before that could ever happen. So no more Woodstocks.
Oh, no one owns the rights to.
Oh no, the rights are like super owned, but no one's ever gonna throw another one.
Why not? They can make it super safe. It's like a concert. They have other
just
concerts
now because like Woodstock '99 happened so much more recently than the original one. So the memory in most young people's minds, the minds of the people that are of age to go to a 3-day festival and get dirty and camp and all that stuff, they think of Woodstock '99. Okay. You know, they're not even let alone thinking about Woodstock '94. Which also had its problems, but was kind of considered legendary to the point where no one really talks about it because it was fine.
Right.
You know, but
have you guys talked about the other Woodstocks or just?
Yeah, we did. So that's how we did Podcast 99. Like first we introed the show. That was like episode 1. Episode 2, we did the history of it. So we did because the original Woodstock was a shit show too, dude. Like some guy got ran over by a tractor while he was in a sleeping bag and died. There was heroin overdoses, no food. People were falling out all over the place. Like they couldn't control the crowd, so they just announced that it was free. That's where the legend of it being a free concert came from. No, they just gate crashed. So the only way they made money on it was by allowing a film crew to film everything, and then they had the film rights to the documentary that came out. That was a huge deal. And then the merch successively after that, that became the big money maker for them. So in '94 they tried to do another one, and it was like 9 Inch Nails, Aerosmith, Metallica, fucking Cypress Hill, like just bands that work, Right. I mean, yes, there was some aggressive stuff, but like overall the culture was at a point where it worked. By '99 it was Limp Bizkit, Korn, capitalism, fucking like we now have 2 Woodstocks we didn't make any money on. This one we're gonna make our fucking money back.
Oh, they didn't make money on the previous ones?
No, because of all the gate crashing and just like commercialism and just like how much all these bands charged and the music industry had changed and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude. But yeah, anyways, so we worked on one doc, and no one wanted us on camera, and then HBO came out with one where basically almost everyone they have in it was someone that wasn't there, and they're just pushing like how negative it was and making it like like you hear like toxic white masculinity, which 100% is a driving force of some of the negative shit that happened there. But it was so much bigger than that.
Yeah, you saw a couple of groping hands that were a different shade,
Yeah.
They weren't all white.
No, you didn't.
They were all white.
Of course. Yeah.
But Woodstock is like a super white thing, right? Like,
well, yeah, but I mean also, but like one of the most interesting things about Woodstock '99 is like DMX plays, right? Yeah. And he doesn't have a hype man. It's just him and a DJ, and it's him in front of like what looks like 500,000 people.
Yeah.
It's out of control, and ne'er a black face in the crowd. And but they're singing along to every word.
Right.
Every word.
Yeah.
But like DMX is like feeding off of that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like you could say different time. You could also say like, well, what's he gonna do? Tell like 200,000 kids that love his fucking music to not sing along? It's like it just was a different conversation to have back then.
But I don't know. Most concert goers are white people, right? It doesn't really matter.
No, I mean, I would say at a festival, and depending on where they're at, because it's like if you go to like Jazz Fest or like Essence Fest or something in New Orleans, like not that, like totally opposite.
I'm talking about like big acts, like if Snoop Dogg came to town, like most of the people watching it.
I'm sure when Snoop Dogg just recently played at the Hollywood Bowl, it was majority white.
Yeah.
But I actually recently just watched the Defiant Ones, which is a great documentary series about Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre and like their relationship and stuff. And they said that like Snoop Dogg talks about how Jimmy Iovine, like when Chronic came out, he's like, we got to get you on the cover of Rolling Stone. He's like, what the fuck? No, I want to be on the cover of Source. And he's like, trust me. Gets them on the cover of Rolling Stone. He's like, the next day, it was like every white guy ever was like, dude, Snoop. And like, it just changes their life. You know what I mean? Like, but.
Jeez. You know what's kind of crazy? I don't know if you realize this, but there are like a million podcasts out there, but you guys seem to catch success like right off the gate.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, again, like we had a lot of friends that were, and again, we're not huge. You know what I mean? Like when
you guys are making money. Like
through a Patreon, but like
this podcast is not good.
Which reminder, make sure you hit like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Stuff. But
but like with the retention rate and everything, like even if
we have a loyal following, I'll say that it's not big, but the people that like it have been there since Podcast 99. Now they're in Culture Dumps, and like we have really good luck on Patreon with keeping people subscribed.
Yep.
And it's because of all the variety of stuff that we throw up there. I'm trying to put stuff up there every week. We also started a web store where I sell collectibles. Like I don't know if you can tell, I got my house is fucking covered in dumb shit, and so I started selling it.
Nice.
And that's not been great money wise, but
oh really?
Oh yeah, no. I've sold like a few things, but like I'm kind of in the hole with that right now, but only by a little bit. But as far as making money off the podcast itself goes, like we only had one sponsor, well two, one of which sponsored some Podcast 99 stuff for product. Ballyhoo hot sauce, it's fantastic, but we got sponsored by this like nootropic like supplement, like once a day shot thing for culture dumps, and they're like, we had never done that before. We had to like pull up our analytics and everything to send to them, which we never knew, and that's when I was like, oh shit, like people listen to this, you know, like crazy. Again, it's not like in the hundreds of thousands or anything like that, but it's more than we thought.
Yeah.
But so they're like, yeah, and you got to mention it organically and blah blah, and don't make it a cut, don't put music, like work it in. And I was like, well, I don't know if they really listen to the show. And like, it just so we did one, and it was fine. Like, I forgot what episode it was that we were doing, but the next episode for the second ad just happened to be bum fights that we were doing. And so like the way I like, are you familiar with bum fights? Yeah. So there's a scene in bum fights where this one guy, they're gonna pay him to pull one of his teeth out, right? Which is fine. Well, not even pull it out. He has it tied to a cinder block, and he's gonna drop it, and it's gonna yank his tooth out. So to get stoked for that, he drinks vodka with orange juice, and he's like making mouth mixed screwdrivers, as we called it. And I'm explaining this. I was like, and you know, when I need the strength to do the impossible, instead of a mouth mixed screwdriver, I reach for a shot of blah blah blah. Yeah, it's the only nootropic thing designed for blah blah blah, and you can pull your tooth out and shit. Dropped. They just did not like that. So
they're so dumb. I heard so many things about that. Like, you know, a lot of comedy podcasts lose their advertisers because of that. In the beginning, I don't hear about it anymore. But like a famous one was I think Bill Burr was just shitting on like chocolate covered strawberries for the whole time. But then he sold a bunch of them because he was like, I don't want them to drop me. Please buy all this.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I just feel like there's not enough attention given to what the shows are that you're putting your products on. You know, it's like for us, it's really hard to get people on for interviews that are like involved in the topics we discuss because we're called culture dumps. Our fucking logo is a toilet. Like, it's pretty like clear that we're gonna rip on this shit, you know, or have or whatever. Advertisers don't do that. Like they're just like, oh, look at all the reviews. Like, look at the, like, let's throw some shit their way.
That's all that should matter. I'm saying they should have kept you.
Yeah, me too. I'm saying that too. I actually did enjoy their product too,
and it sounded like a good ad.
Yeah,
you know, you're not reading off of script. You're not
like in podcast world. Like, again, not that I'm like some foremost authority on it or anything, but like you want to, like, the dream eventually, or one of the dreams on like a small level, is to get to a point where you say using promo code / culture dumps, like to get like the promo code and get to drop that in an episode. Like listeners were like, oh fuck, like that's dope. Like you guys got to do that, you know? Yeah. Like that's the dream, you know? But fucking then they just took it right away. You know, another dream with podcasts is especially ones like what Culture Dumps is, and like we're kind of most similar in format to, like, I would say Last Podcast on the Left. Like to us, like that's like the top tier way to do like a research based podcast with comedy and like the live shows. Like they're like those guys are definitely like my podcast idols for sure. But like when you do a show like that, you want to get to a point where your listeners start calling you guys the boys, where it's like, oh, this week the boys are talking about, like, once you're the boys, like that's like a level up. You know?
And then your fans have their own nicknames.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like dumps, dumpers. Yeah, like we try
promo code dumps.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. You could get more. I don't even know how to. Ad thing where usually
we were approached, but like I've been working now that we have our analytics and stuff. I've been working on like a deck basically that you send out to companies. But the thing is, it's like, why would a company that like all the cool ones like Blue Chew or something like Boner Pills, you know, it's like they're not gonna do anything with us when they're on all the biggest ones. So you have to find these companies that you might not even really be that stoked on, but they're willing to pay you or give you shit.
But they might pay you just because they want more impressions.
Yeah.
Because they say like I went to business school and they say you need to show someone an advertisement for like 6 times before it actually makes an impact. So a lot of it is just flooding people with information. You should try to, I know it's a podcast, so it's like worldwide, but like it would be funny if you got like local
Yeah.
sponsors.
Well, see, but I live at
Change your tire here at
yeah, Dean's. Yeah. But dude, the thing is, it's like, yeah, local sponsors here is like fucking Erewhon, dude. Like we live in fucking LA, dude. Like we like local sponsors here. I'll make more fucking money. Like they don't really need the help because they're in like
or like a local restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I would love like if I could get like a dream sponsor for me would be Carl's Jr. That's my favorite fast food. My last meal, 100%. Western bacon cheeseburger, breakfast burger.
Yeah.
2 sides of fried zucchini, extra large Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
8 sides of ranch.
Jeez,
but yeah,
8 sides.
It's my last meal. Yeah, dude. Every bite is getting a packet. Yeah.
They should at least sponsor one episode. You do something with the restaurant.
I would also like Whammy is a great local business out here that I love. That's where we did our Culture Dump show. It's a VHS store, but they also have a micro cinema, and they do comedy events and stuff like that. And like we did I screened the mystery tape, the Woodstock 99 mystery tape I was talking about. We did a screening of it there, and I had this improv group come, and I decked them all out in original Woodstock 99 staff t-shirts that I have.
Oh, wow.
And they like cosplayed as Woodstock 99 staff. And then I set up a museum of artifacts and stuff. So it was like this immersive thing. Like you felt like you were going into Woodstock 99 a little bit.
And
you know,
that event
Whammy does that all the time. Oh yeah, for sure.
And in LA?
Yeah.
So you could totally use local. You need to hit up like the local shop, like a local like chicken shop.
Yeah, I don't. There's too many. I would like Angry Chicks to sponsor me. That's my favorite hot chicken spot.
Yeah.
Or like Crispy Pork Gang. It's a 24-hour Thai delivery place. It's not great.
Yeah.
But it's 24 hours. So like,
okay.
You know, at 4 in the morning, it becomes the best.
Have you ever approached them? That would be so fun. I think
there
they
might
would.
Be a language barrier. But
someone knows.
Someone
angry ladies. What is it called? Angry
chicks.
Yeah.
Well, that might work. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just go door to door, old school. Would you like to sponsor?
You'll wear their merch and stuff.
Well, see, that's the thing. We don't film it.
That's right.
We're audio only. We're podcast fucking.
You
know, purists. You know, we want you to listen to it in the car and stuff. Because that's the thing. Like, I don't feel like. Like, because this kind of shit is like talk show, you know? Like, you could watch this or, like, throw it on while you're doing stuff around the house. Like, I don't think someone would necessarily watch Culture Dumps unless we put in a lot into the production as far as having, like, video clips play and slides and things like that. And also, my co-host and I were not in the same room.
Yeah.
That's a huge chunk that it takes away from as far as dynamics.
Skype it in. I know, like, successful podcasts.
Yeah, but I don't want to just do it because I can. Like, I think
Sure.
that shit looks shitty when it's, like, a Zoom that they just put up just to put up more content.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. Let the. Well, I mean, you know, again, this is different. If Parks and I could be in the same room and set up like a cool desk, you know, and like have our stuff all around us and like have a set, then maybe I would do that.
Sure.
But also, we're like half scripted, so it's like I write a script and we riff in between. No one wants to watch a guy read. I don't know.
Yeah. That's true. I still think you should do it. You could, so good. Chicken. Angry chick, so good.
Yeah. That's a hot chicken. Became a big thing. The Nashville hot chicken. I still see new places popping up. Nashville hot.
Have
chicken.
you had Howlin' Ray's?
No, the line's too long.
They had another. They just opened another one in Pasadena, I think.
Oh, what? Yeah, I like that one because I like the idea of it because you can get chicken on the bone. You know what I mean? Like the hot chicken on the bone. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, besides that, like Zanku would be a really good local sponsor. Because that's like a culture dump, too. You know about Zanku chicken?
I heard of them. I didn't know they were local. I thought they were bigger than...
I mean, there's like many locations. Like, there's one on Sunset. There's one up the street. But there was like a murder. There was like a family murder, like murder for hire plot when like the founder or whatever died. They didn't know,
Really?
who was going to take over the kingdom of Zanku chicken. And there was like a murder and like a family got torn apart. Like, so like we won't do an episode about you guys if you sponsor us.
No, have them sponsor you doing an episode. I think they don't want
they'd
it.
be very stoked on that.
Has anyone ever done like a deep dive on the Zanku?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think like because that's the thing. Again, I used to work at the Museum of Death for like 10 years, so I was just so embedded in true crime world, which is why I never wanted to do a true crime podcast.
Sure.
And even through Culture Dumps, we get to do that sometimes.
But
you know,
Zanku chicken,
like,
man.
But like My Favorite Murder, I'm pretty sure like they're huge. You know, it's like one of the biggest podcasts on the planet.
Yeah.
Like 98% sure they did a Zanku episode.
Oh, what about that new guy? That guy at whatever beach that was just killing killing hookers.
Oh yeah, the go-go or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see.
Is that gonna be one, or does that not make the cut?
That's not a dump. Like that's just straight up true crime. You know what I mean? Like, and
Okay.
I don't do like I used to write to serial killers, dude. Like I was so in that world for so long that like I just like I'm more interested in the Lizzo thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like
Would that be a culture dump? Her fat shaming people?
I think she's well on her way to becoming like if she just needs one more really heavy hitting scandal.
Yeah.
And like to completely fall out of
like
the
if
public
she just
eye.
lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, no one cares.
Yeah.
Just like,
or people who care. She'll get all the people onto her side.
yeah, I guess so.
You know how Adele like lost a bunch of weight and a bunch of people are like,
bummed.
"Fuck you, bitch," and then a bunch of people are like, "Hey, she looks good."
She does look good. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's like here's what people don't like. Hot take: being very obese is not good for you.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't matter. Like, should we talk shit on anyone for how they look or anything? Absolutely not. And like that's where and should you feel bad about yourself because you got to a certain point? No.
Yes.
But should you feel bad that you're fucking dying?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, you know, I don't know. It's like you could go into that aspect of it so much, but I think at the end of the day, people are forgetting that it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Like, all the other countries in the world laugh at America for being the fattest fucking country.
Dude.
And we're just like, you're being rude.
You should do a culture dump on plus size models.
You know what's funny? We did kind of the opposite. We did an episode about heroin chic. Remember that? Like early 90s.
Do I?
Like yeah, just like when like ribs and shit became like collarbones became like the chic thing in the fashion world, and like people were just dying, like, you know, from doing drugs and pills, and that's like when the Viper Room was popping and everything.
Sure.
And then Anna Nicole came along and changed that and brought us back to our senses with the full figure. But yeah, so like heroin chic was kind of anti-body positivity, and now we have like this body positivity movement, which is like anti-heroin chic.
Do you think you'll lose your listeners if you did one on that?
No, we've done like you know, every once in a while we'll get, you know, a bad review, which hurt my feelings, by the way.
Like what?
We got one where it's like, oh, these two virgins in their mom's basement, fucking, like, which is like so far from the truth.
Are they hating because
like,
of the topic or because
just us, like like laughing at our own jokes, like just like normal shit, like these two white boys. It's like Parks is Japanese, but that doesn't matter. Like so, like shit like that, but. We did one recently about the Judas Priest trial. In the late 80s, Judas Priest was on trial for allegedly having subliminal messages in their songs, right?
Oh, they're the devil. You play
well, not even that. It's like they said it was layered in the real one, just like do it. And these two kids in like outside of Reno, they tried to kill themselves. One did, the other one lived, and his face just was like chewed up bubblegum like after that. And so Judas Priest had to go on trial, and we did a whole episode about that. And like we got one review that's like, chill on the suicide jokes, guys. Like, you could do better. I hate that do better shit. Like, God, it's so stupid. It's like you could say like everything you want. You don't need to add in do better to show me exactly. Like, now I know everything that you're into. I know exactly what kind of person you are because you used it do better.
Yeah.
Like, please.
And also no shit that you're trying to do better every single time.
Yeah, but also it's like we didn't. Like we gave out like the suicide hotline number. Like we were very kind of tactful with it, but you can't please everyone, you know. And that's also the problem. It's like some people will tune in for the information because like our research is so solid in the script and stuff, but they might not like us as dudes, and that's fine too as long as you fucking listen, you know. But like, yeah, I don't know. You can't win them all.
That's funny that you're like all upset over one review. I thought you meant like there was one episode where everybody
Podcast 99 because I mean because it's been around a lot longer and also it's one topic. Like so you might not like one episode of Culture Dumps but you really like this other one. Podcast 99 it's the whole package. So we would get many more negative ones on that. Like these guys don't know what they're talking about. They weren't even there. Fucking cackling idiots. Fucking and that's just like one after another, and I'm just like fuck. But then like you know a lot of good ones. But yeah, so I try not to look at them anymore. Like now, sometimes like I'll just scroll down to see how many reviews we have, and like that's good enough. Yeah. Because I'm like sensitive, dude. Like I don't know why you even got in like in comedy, everyone's mean. Yeah. Like it like sucks. Like feelings get hurt. Like I'm not built to like take the kind of criticism that like I'm.
But you know people
going
are listening.
to get. Yeah, but I know people are listening. You know.
Like, I'm like I love it when I get comments on my videos right now, but I only get it from like people I know.
Right.
Or so,
Well, how much worse would it be if they were negative? It's like, you fucking asshole.
Don't make a fake name, dude. I know this. I know this one girl. She made a cookbook and published it on Amazon, and there was only one review, and it was like very negative.
That person just like narrowed it down. They're like, I'm gonna
like,
single you out. Yeah.
But I like deep down, I know this person knows her personally.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's a nobody.
Well,
Like,
that's the other thing.
You know what I mean? Like, she's deep under the algorithm. Like, you need to look her up.
Like, I definitely like have made major mistakes in my life. You know that like and like regrets, and I've definitely like hurt people and said mean things to people and shit like that. I mean, I feel like anyone worth their salt has.
Sure.
If you go through life without fucking like hurting a single person's feelings or like having your feelings hurt, you didn't live like properly.
But it'll be funny if it's like your first comment ever,
and it's just shit.
And it's negative, and it's someone that.
That's why you have to have fucking good friends that like beat everyone else to the punch. Like so at least I know our first reviews are gonna be good. You know, like maybe even the first 4. Yeah. And like that's all you need, because then after that, like if it's mob mentality, it's Woodstock '99 shit. It's mob mentality. Like, if
how much are you gonna sell this shirt for?
This one stays with Daddy.
Okay.
Actually, the interesting story about this shirt, I found this on eBay, and it was $25, and I was like, oh, obviously a bootleg, because I know what the real ones look like. I have a bunch of them, and maybe I'll pull out the archives after we're done. I'll show you. Yeah. But I bought this one just because it was cool, and I was like, that's a Woodstock '99 shirt I'll actually wear, right?
Right.
Years later into the podcast, I find this guy named Primo Chemo. Okay, he's a big dude, Hawaiian shirts, really into tiki culture, like that kind of white guy. Like I love tiki shit. I don't care like how bad, like or what the whatever. But he hits us up, dude? And he's like the appropriation of like a culture that doesn't even really like exist. There's too many pieces like Polynesian stuff. But he's like a tiki guy. He goes by Primo Chemo. That's his name. And I'm not talking about like good chemotherapy. Like I'm talking chemo like with a K. But he's like he told me. I had him on the show, and he brought an RV to Woodstock. He made T-shirts. He had a silk screening business at the time, so he made a bunch of bootlegs. This was one of his fucking bootlegs.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Yeah, and he's like, like, he's telling me the story. He's like, I had these ringer tees. I was like, with, like, American flag print. And he's like, yep. Fucking one of them, dude.
Shit, nice.
Yeah. And so he was going to send me another one. He made one where it's like the Hot Wheels symbol, but it says Woodstock 99.
Oh, okay.
And there's pictures of him selling it at Woodstock 99.
Oh, shit. Nice.
And yeah, he had a great story, too, about the RV toilet clogging. And so they used a tiki torch to, like, bust the shit up. Yeah. And then also, like, his box of T-shirts got taken by security, and he just went up to their cart when they were there, like, chatting to some girls and just, like, took it back. But he was going to send me one. And I was like, oh, fuck, that'd be awesome. Like, another one I can wear. Yeah. And then the HBO documentary comes out. And then the Netflix one. And then everyone's talking about Woodstock 99. And then then I saw the one he was going to give me on eBay. And he's selling it for, like, $500. I'm like, motherfucker. Yeah.
Shit, dude. He must have made a killing.
But back to the comments thing, it's like it's mob mentality. If a bunch of people see a bunch of good comments, the likelihood of them leaving a bad one is no. If they don't like it, they're probably just not going to say anything. Yeah. But if there's a bunch of bad ones, you're going to jump on because they want their voice to be heard just as much as all these other assholes.
Sure.
That's how it goes.
How often do you put out an episode of Culture Dumps?
Culture Dumps, we try to do 2 a month. We were for a while, and we shouldn't have, but we were really good. We did once a week.
Oh,
and
that's a lot.
and I mean, there's a lot of research that goes into this shit. Like our first episode was.
Is it just you doing research, or both of you and your?
No, like so we split it. Like I mean, it's yes. Like Parks would tell you it was all me. I would try and like spread the love a little bit, but generally yes, it's all me. There are episodes scattered throughout though that he leads. We call it. So like for instance, he did an episode on XFL. I didn't know anything about sports, so he had his buddy on, and like they did that. Parks led our Sinead O'Connor episode. Rest in peace. Like he likes to do the music ones mostly, you know. And we have different styles. Like he doesn't script it out. I like to write a script only because it keeps me from saying like and you know. Like if I can cut down that as much as possible, then it sounds better.
Right.
But for the most part, yeah, it's like that's kind of my end of the deal, and he handles all of our like logistical stuff, the editing, things like that.
That's a lot, dude. Once a week.
Yeah, no, so it was a lot. And so what I would do is but this is during COVID, so it's like I didn't have to be anywhere. So I was just storing up outlines, you know, and like dude, I got enough for the next 5 episodes, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's like sometimes I'm finishing them like the morning of, you know. Like
have you been able to keep up with 2 a month?
No. Well, for the most part, yes, but every once in a while it might just be 1 a month. But then but that'll be for an actual dump, right?
Yeah.
But then I'll do like an interview episode. So like this month we've had some scheduling problems, so we didn't have one to put out, so I did an interview with someone. I found this I call her an era influencer. She lives her life. She's 22 years old, but she lives her life like she's in 1986 or something.
Really?
Like, I mean, head to toe, every piece of furniture. The only thing that's not 80s is the phone that she uses to post her shit.
Yeah.
And she makes music, which I'm obsessed with. Her name is Violet Sky. You got to check her out. She's on YouTube everywhere. Gang, ice cream, and
ice cream so good.
But so I had her on, and we just talked the 80s and what it's like to like basically cosplay like you're from a different era, like every day of your life, and like even the music, she got it from an 80s producer that had these like leftover analog tracks, and the lyrics too from the original singer they were written for. So it's like the only thing that isn't 80s on her music is the microphone in her voice.
Yeah.
Like fucking crazy.
That's super interesting.
So like we just throw in stuff like that to like pump it up. But episode 99 is about to drop. Like so that's kind of like our origin tale. Like we're just gonna talk about our process and how we do everything. And then episode 100 through I think 104 is gonna be Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh, nice.
Which we've been saving since episode 1. Like
you're gonna do it all in one episode, or you say you're
no, it's gonna be 4 parts. Like some like Girls Gone Wild, we did that. That was a 2-parter. Oh, yeah, because we couldn't stop talking.
I used to think that show was real, dude.
It was. That's the problem.
It was real.
Girls Gone Wild. Yeah, they really.
I thought it was like scripted. Like...
No, they would go to these parties and give like a hat.
That was
like a
real.
T-shirt, and the girls would show their tits. Yeah, but dude, if you watch Girls Gone Wild, like if you watched like a whole one,
I've never seen it.
It's not like it's not like really like porn. It's. I mean, first of all, the shit's mega illegal, like on so many levels. You know,
they're making money off of it.
Yeah, and like a lot of the times, like I mean, I can't remember all the details because it was so long ago when we did it, but like there was plenty of underage girls because like just because you're in a 21 and up club doesn't mean that fake IDs don't exist, and like if you're like. You know, mob mentality, a bunch of girls are flashing. You're going to do it too if you're young, impressionable, and wasted.
Sure. And
now you ended up on this tape, and now, like, 1 million people have child porn. You know, like, without anyone really knowing. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's totally real. And then, like, the really sketchy parts would be, like, when it's, like, exclusive. Like, look, back on the bus. And it'd be, like, 2 chicks, like, hooking up on the bus. Like, that was just, like, plying chicks with drugs and alcohol and, like, virtually no money.
And we're back. Dude. Girls Gone Wild is real, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, okay. So yes, it's totally real.
Oh my god, dude.
But as it went on and they made more and more money, the guy was making, I mean, almost $1 billion, dude.
Is he in jail?
He's been to jail many a times.
No, did he go to jail for Girls Gone Wild?
He did. Yeah. Okay. And I mean, dude, there was. Tune in to Culture Dumps for the full story. But there's also a documentary about it, I think, on Netflix. But so no, it is real. And basically, the guy Joe Francis, who founded it, he used to work as a producer on another late night, as seen on TV, like straight to video thing called Banned from Television.
Okay.
And Banned from Television was like liquor store clerks getting shot in the face and fucking like people being attacked by sharks and like a concert in Rio de Janeiro where like the scaffolding collapses and everyone dies and explodes. Like, I mean, fucked up shit like that, like snipers shooting people, war footage. I mean, like car crashes, shit like that. But then like peppered throughout, there would be like Mardi Gras, like boobs, or like spring break kind of stuff.
It's like a little breather between the acts.
Totally, like it's just like this man is working his last shift. Oh my god! And then it's like woohoo! Like it was crazy. But he realized, he's like, dude, we have all this stuff. Like most of the selling point of Banned from Television is the titties. Right. So let's just do that. And so he bought up like the archive, started Girls Gone Wild, and that's where it started. But as they made more money, they would start throwing their own events. It's kind of like what happened in the mid to early 2000s with isanyoneup.com. Do you remember that?
I think I saw a documentary about it.
There was the most hated man on the internet.
He was putting
came out
like,
on Netflix.
Yeah, people were like putting like
the term
porn.
revenge porn was coined because of that site.
Dude, I didn't even know about that thing until I watched the documentary. Now.
Oh, I was well aware, but that's because
I was on it
because it started as like emo scene. It started like the emo scene world, and I was very much into that shit back in like 2005 and 6, you know. So like I knew about that because like you could maybe see like one of these like hot older scene girls, you know, naked or whatever, because she trusted someone to send a picture to, and then they sent it to this awful website. But like as the site got bigger, much like with Girls Gone Wild, like as these videos of like footage that they already had got bigger, they started to have to send people out into the field, right? With Is Anyone Up? What they did was they hired a hacker to break into people's fucking computers and shit. But then they started throwing events like Girls Gone Wild parties, Is Anyone Up parties, and at those parties, that's where then they would get their footage,
right?
Or get the girls back on the bus or on the plane or whatever the fuck it was.
Were there laws against that? I think it's illegal because they were monetizing off of it, right?
Well, but the thing is they had contracts, they had release forms, and so Is Anyone Up was totally illegal. That's why the guy got like super fucked, and a lot of those pictures were just straight up stolen, and again revenge porn and everything. But Girls Gone Wild, like you would be at like Senior Frogs or something in Mexico, show your tits, and then you would like just like drunk, like, oh yeah, here, sign this really quick, and now you have nothing to say.
Even the earlier ones?
So a lot of the earlier ones, like where it's just straight up home, like I think 1 or 2 or so, that's more of like they were advertised more, or like at least legally on paper, as like a documentary kind of a thing. Sure. Whereas when they started really producing it and creating these situations, that's when they brought contracts in, because they would get in trouble. Yeah. And like one poor girl, you know, she signed off on the thing, and then they put her on the fucking cover of one, and she had she was in college, she like started getting kicked out of her school, and like fired, and like everyone knew, because she became like unintentionally the face of Girls Gone Wild. When to her it was 20 seconds in a nightclub, you know, pulling her shirt up for a second, but now her face is plastered on posters at every video store ever.
Then how did this guy? What do you get in trouble for then? If he got
underage people being mixed up in it, consent, like, you know, non-consent stuff, in really insane domestic violence stuff. And then one time, allegedly, he was some gangsters like broke into his house and like tied him up, and they filmed him like sucking a dildo and like doing weird homoerotic shit, and
they
then
like forced him to
blackmail him. Yeah, and they're like, we're gonna fucking release this shit, and like just the poetic justice of that is like amazing. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, but yeah, dude, that was real.
Fucking crazy. Did you guys do one on Vanilla Ice?
Yes, we did. 2-parter. Yeah.
You guys did about him hanging off the balcony. Like, is that real?
Yeah. No. So it's been told several ways. Like what happened was he was confronted on a balcony, and Suge Knight allegedly like kind of like not held him over the edge, but like look over that edge, you know, like kind of a thing. And it all had to do with some of the songwriting credits and royalties for someone that did work on the song way back. Because that song, you got to understand, like Ice Ice Baby came in like waves of it being fully produced into what it became. A lot of different people worked on it. Sure. And, you know, a lot of people didn't get what they deserved. But also Vanilla Ice was kind of changing the tides of hip hop, which by that time had just become like a respected mainstream genre that was no longer just seen as like, oh, a black thing or an inner city thing. Like now it's the biggest thing ever, and this guy's going to take it away by making it okay for, you know, like a white guy thing basically. So he was an easy target. But that story then became, you know, as it went through the grapevine, oh, did you hear Suge Knight like, you know, held him over the balcony? No, he was confronted on a balcony.
Did he get the rights to the song?
Yeah, he signed over some money to him. Yeah.
Oh, just some. He didn't own the whole rights.
No. He signed off like a portion, like,
because the rumor was like if there was no Vanilla Ice, there would be no Death Row Records.
No, that's a lie.
Oh, dude.
No, it didn't really work like that. I mean, there's a little bit of truth to that, but no, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that went into making Death Row Records. Watch the Defiant ones, dude. They go all into that. Okay. But yeah, no, the best part about Vanilla Ice though was after Ice Ice Baby, like all the shit that he did later in life. Like one of my favorite shows ever, The Surreal Life. It was a VH1 show. They put a bunch of like, no, I don't want to say washed up, but like a bunch of celebrities who have gone past their heyday, let's say, all in a house, like Real World style. Right. And he had like insane anger problems.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and he would just like tear the fucking place up, and like Ron Jeremy's just like, we gotta live here too, and like shit like that, dude.
Wait, was he on a Celebrity Rehab, or was that later on?
No, he wasn't ever on Celebrity Rehab, but he was on Surreal Life. And then he was on Surreal Life Fame Games, which was like one where they would compete for money. And and he almost fucking won that shit too. He got pretty far.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. And he was one of the first to have. I think the very first episode of Behind the Music was Milli Vanilli, but Vanilla Ice was shortly after that.
Oh, okay.
And because that's right when he comes out with his new metal stuff. So that's like 97, 98 ish.
I don't know any of his new stuff.
Bro, he still puts out albums. He does like MAGA shit now. Like
I know, but are they good? Anyone could put on music now. Like Backstreet Boys still put on music.
No,
like,
no. I mean, some of it's all right. Some of the new metal stuff's like kind of crazy. Like right before he went new metal, he tried to go like gangster rap. So he grew out little dreads and like his shit's like I'm psychopathic, like that kind of shit, you know. And like everyone was like, holy fuck. But also MC Hammer tried to do the same thing because that's when Death Row was started. So now any bubblegum like dance stuff not cool anymore. So everyone had to kind of turn heel.
MC Hammer became a pastor.
Yeah, because his fucking hardened image didn't work out. He was
on
the first. MC Hammer was actually on the very first season of Surreal Life. And there's a scene where it's like Vince Neil, Corey Feldman, MC Hammer. I forgot who else is on it, but like they're gonna have sushi off a naked woman's body, right? Like the Hollywood cliche. And so they come out for their surprise dinner. It's that, and MC Hammer's like, I cannot do this. This is sinful. And then like, and then Corey Feldman gets up. He's like, no, I agree. I can't be part of this. He's like, see, like I can't be around a naked woman unless my wife's in the room because like we share. I'm like, you're just like finding any which way you can to say that you and your wife have threesomes, right? Right now, so you're piggybacking off of MC Hammer's moral quandary to like just let everyone know that you have sex with two chicks at once sometimes. Like, and meanwhile, Vince Neil's just like, well, I'll eat it. He's like, just over. I used to sell Corey Feldman weed, dude.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
nice,
I worked at a weed store for a few years back in the Wild West days of weed, when like you had to have a medical card and go see a doctor. It was a whole fucking inconvenience. And we had celebrity clientele, so like celebrity clientele.
Did he come in with like shades?
Dude,
and
he
shit?
would come in dressed like a fucking anime character, dude. Like he did, like he wanted everyone to know who he was, and he wouldn't. And he had zero qualms with like asking for free shit or being like, "Did you get a free joint for me today?" And it's like, no, Corey Feldman, I did not. But and like we were all stoked too, and that's like also like right before like he blew up with his music shit and like became like a viral thing, and like oh man, but yeah, I used to sell weed to George Clinton. That was another one.
Who's George Clinton?
Parliament Funkadelic. Fucking
related Bill
flashlight, dude. Bow wow wow yippee oh yippee like fucking George Parliament, dude. P Funk, like literally the backbone of West Coast rap. I'm ignorant to
culture, but whatever you're.
Yeah,
you know, I'm like the opposite of you.
No, see, but the thing is, I'm ignorant to everything else.
I saw an episode of Vice on Vanessa Carlton.
Oh yeah.
The One Hit Wonder.
Yeah.
Did you guys do a dump on that?
No, but I love that series though, and it's like the story behind the song or whatever. And one episode that I did see that I was like, that could be a culture dump was the Thong Song.
Yeah, but Sisqo went and did other stuff.
Yeah, so did Vanessa, but did Sisqo really?
Did
he really?
I can't think of another song right now.
He
but
did
I
that
feel
movie,
like...
Can't Hardly Wait, or was it Can't Hardly Wait? No, it was Drive Me Crazy with Melissa Joan Hart.
Right.
But no, dude, like that was pretty much it. But
he hasn't had other songs that were.
No, he was in Drew Hill before that. But the thing is, it's not necessarily about Sisqo. It's about the Thong Song.
Oh, okay.
Right, like that's the dump. And like, did you know in the music video, the girls they couldn't actually wear thongs. They had to turn them around to have more coverage.
What?
Like they couldn't show as much of their butts as they were showing, so they're like, okay, put like the bigger part of the thong on your butt for these butt shots, so we're not showing like actual G-string thongs. And the violin that you hear, dude, that violinist is like one of the most accomplished like entertainment violinists of all time. He did like Star Wars and fucking like everything else, and they like brought him in to do the fucking thong song, and it's like dun, 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 dun. Like it's fucking killer, man.
That's crazy how they just paid some guy to.
Yeah, because they had a sample, but they couldn't clear the sample, so they had this guy come in to write a part that was similar enough, and then record it himself. Okay. And the beat for that was originally for Michael Jackson, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that was the dream, but then like Michael Jackson like didn't like it or something happened like in his life.
You guys did do one on Thong Song, you said.
No, but but when you're talking about one hit wonders, like in that show specifically on Vice, that's one that
that's a huge. I like remember just.
Oh, I remember it well. You know,
cheeks.
Another one-hit wonder one we did was Tattoo. Remember that? Speaking of formidable young man music videos, Tattoo, the two Russian schoolgirls.
No.
All the things she said. Dude, everyone that's watching this is screaming at their screen right now.
What year was this?
That was like early 2000s. Like
Dude, I was into like 50 Cent by then.
Yeah, well, I mean, you probably would have, if you saw the video, you would have been into it because you would have been only because you would have been a teenager and they were teenagers as well. Now it wouldn't be. Now it's not okay.
Oh, how about Vitamin C, that graduation song?
Oh, that's another good one.
Would that be a
See,
one?
like, again, though, I feel like with one hit wonders, like, since there's so many of them, that would be like a roundup thing that we would do where we'd pick like 3 and that'd be like volume 1 and then we'd do another one. Like, when we run low or like there's some topics for culture dumps where it's just an episode and it's really easy to write it down, you know. But then there's some where I just like put it off forever. Like I've been putting off American Gladiators forever, you know. So if I don't want to do that, then I'll just be like, okay, well, let's just like group together a bunch of one hit wonders and we'll do volume 1 one hit wonders.
Yeah,
whatever.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
What about comedy? Let's just. I mean, we should end this. I don't know how long we're going for, but more than.
I'm an interesting guy.
Point. You're very interesting. What made you decide to go into comedy? You're doing a lot, but you're making me feel like I'm real lazy right now.
Dude, yesterday I sat in bed all day. I think I masturbated like 4 times. And
just from bed, just from imagination.
No, I mean, I'm in bed. I'm not in prison. I have my phone and everything else.
Okay.
But I did nothing yesterday, dude. That's why today I'm like, let's fucking do this, do that, clean the fucking house, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's how I work, dude. Like, 1 day off, 4 days on, 2 days completely off. Like, and I drink, like, I'm not a great guy. But, but no, with comedy, what it was, you know, again, I was in bands forever. Like, I played in bands since high school, loved playing shows, always have. And then with, like, through that, when I started my band Sons of the Bitch, like, we had stage names. I went by Stacy Beretta for a long time. Like, that's how I was, like, known. Like, people, oh, Stacy, what's up?
Yeah.
And, like, we would do videos and stuff. Like, we did one show where my drummer, Fudge, he brewed his own beer. But we worked at a weed store together, so we had, like, all this tincture that we made, you know, like liquid THC. And so we infused the beer. And then we did a release show for the beer called Fudge's Homebrew, and we filmed a commercial for it that we aired at the show. And, like, it was like, oh, when I reach for a cold one, blah, blah. Like, my favorite part, though, of the commercial was our guitarist, The Stash. He was in a car, and he has a beer bottle in his hand. It's hanging out, and he's like, when I hit the road, I always bring a Fudge's Homebrew. And then he hits the gas and reverses into a shit ton of trash cans and shit. like, so we would do stuff like that, and, like, the multimedia aspect and, like, us being funny, not taking it seriously. Like, we're called Sons of the Bitch. We were the bad guys. Like, we would rock like redneck shit, and I'd pull fake guns out on stage, and we'd like one time, like, I brought poppers. I soaked a rag with poppers, threw it out to the crowd. Everyone was getting all crazy on poppers. Like like we did one. There was a show at the venue we were playing at the following week. So we all came in the clothes that we were going to play in to another show and filmed us walking into the venue, going through the backstage to where the stage entrance was. Yeah. And then we edited it to make it look like it was happening, like, right then. And so the night of our show, we're showing this video, and it looks like it's like live, and there's a bunch of people outside, so it really looked like this was happening live, of us walking into the venue past people, and then right when we come on stage, we came on. So stuff like that. And, like, I always loved that, and I would come up with bits and stuff. And, like, once we stopped playing, you know, once that band broke up or whatever, one fateful night in Vegas, we were opening for Bridget the Midget. She was a former adult film actress. She's now facing some time for, I think, stabbing her boyfriend or something.
She's a real midget?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. She also was the star of like one of ICP's movies, Big Money Rustlers.
It's a giant sword when she's holding it.
Dude, it was like, it's a whole thing. There's video of it, too.
Oh,
but,
shit.
Not of the stabbing, but, like, aftermath when she's, like, kicked out. But she was in a band, and so she's also in that movie Tiptoes, which has recently been making its rounds on some of the podcasts.
I've never seen it.
It's insane.
Okay.
But, so, yeah, we broke up, and then I tried to start another band. I really wasn't feeling it. The scene had changed. Jokes had changed. Like people were starting to tell us we need to have trigger warnings on our flyers and shit. And it's just like, why? Like, what the fuck? Like, you know, it's like, when did all this, like, overnight, all these people that, like, were at every show all of a sudden have complaints, like, out of nowhere? Like, it was really bizarre. It was 2016. It was the Trump, like, election.
Right.
Like, all of a sudden, anything that was funny during Obama was not funny anymore.
Right.
And, like, it was just like that. It was crazy. So I tried to start a serious band, really wasn't into it. Then we started doing the podcast, did a podcast live show. I tried to do stand-up for a little bit before that. And, like, it was all right. I just didn't know who I was. Like, I was still using a stage name. Like, I didn't really have good bits. Like, one of my bits, I was like, do you remember when they would have, like, basketball players be in Sprite commercials? Like, have you ever tried to have a Sprite after playing basketball? Like, like
You're doing like
bad, dude.
80s comedy.
Yeah, like Waka Waka shit, like for real. Yeah, and so like I didn't do that, but then the podcast thing happened and we did a live show and like I loved it, like hearing a big room of people laugh. Also, what really wanted to get me into it? I went to Stagecoach, the big country festival, and I was seeing Garth Brooks, and my buddy and I went. We had VIP passes, but we had no place to stay, no money, so we slept in my car in a casino parking lot like the night before, and but we're in all these fancy VIP areas and like we're right at the stage. And the camera is going over the crowd, and I see that I'm on the Megatron, like the Jumbotron that 100,000 people are looking at, and I'm like, and I flip it off, and I hear 100,000 people laugh, and I was like, fuck, like, I mean, I'll never hear that again, but like,
you might, dude.
But that was the thing. So then our buddy Lucas Mateus, I stayed with him when I was on tour once in one of my old bands, and we like met him, blah blah blah. It's funny because too, like him. When he started doing stand-up, I was like, really, that guy? Like, didn't strike me as that dude, but he's fucking funny. But so him and I, we went to the Improv. This is like a year and a half ago or something, and I did so bad, like legendarily bad, dude. Like, because I thought, because I'm used to like winging it and like podcast and like blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't need to prepare anything, dude. Like, I'll never forget how I felt that day. And it sucked. And so I spent literally from the time that you saw me at the Improv, from that time, writing. And so now I have like a huge backlog of stuff. Like I think I've only done the same bits maybe like twice. Like I try to do new stuff every time just to like work it all out. And now like I'm in it. You know what I mean?
Dude, speaking of bombing, I bombed so hard at the Improv last week on Tuesday.
In the main room.
It's like it was one of the worst bombs in my life. I got a huge laugh out of it because at one point I was just like, I went to one guy, I was like, hey man, can I ask you a question? Am I bombing right now?
That's the beauty of bombing. It's like there is a way out.
And then the crowd went wild. I think I lost them because I started, my first joke was like jerking off to Sound of Freedom, and they did it. And they did not like it, which is weird. I think you might have seen me do that joke before, and it was fine.
Yeah, it's
the night before.
It depends on the rooms.
They're like,
dude. But now it's like, like.
And I was like, oh my god, they'll never have me back.
I mean, that might have been worse than my big bomb at the Improv, only because it was main room. Like mine was in the smaller one. But I went up and like I was like, oh man, taking a shit while you're waiting for a girl to come over is like diffusing a bomb, right? And and I was like, God, I'm up here like Andrew Dice Clay Aiken, and like just like none of it like. And I was like wearing like a Hawaiian shirt, like I kind of like tried to like I don't know, man. It was that now that I'm just going by Ryan Lichten, I'm me, like take it or leave it, whatever. Like that really changed it, but also going back on stage at the Improv, like I never thought that I was going to get called with that many people in the room. And I did, and that was my first time back up, and now like that set the tone.
Really well.
Yeah, that set the tone, you know what I mean?
I got to say though, like bombing in itself is kind of funny too.
You definitely take something away from it every time. And like I also feel like it's easier to stay up on stage if you're doing well. Like if you're bombing to like push through to the end of your set, like you get so much more out of that because it's so much more difficult to just like make up the mind that you're going to be stubborn, you're not going to get off early. Like they're here to see you in a way. So fuck it, you're going to see me.
Right.
Like I'm not quitting, you know.
It's a different thing. Like when I'm bombing, I'm very aware, but like when I'm doing well, it's just riding a wave. It feels like
it goes faster.
Yeah, it does. Like before you know it, you're done. You're like, what just happened? But when you're bombing, you're like,
this is going. Yeah, where's my light? Yeah.
When I'm doing well, I don't see people's faces.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I just did one the other day. I did. I wouldn't say I killed, but I definitely did good at North End. It was the Ugly Baby Comedy Hour, but they do the hot mic.
Yeah, that's right.
So like once a month, like the guy makes chicken at home, marinades it in like the fucking 3 hottest sauces ever, like Dave's Insanity sauce, Da Bomb, like all the like gnarly fuck you up joke sauces basically. And then you have to dip it when you go up on stage. Like you put a glove on. It's a whole thing. Like he has it down pat. It was actually went really smooth.
Yeah.
But you dip it and then you eat it, and then your time starts once you swallow. And then once you like. And I'm really good with spicy foods. I eat them. I've had some of those sauces before I knew what to expect, and I had my shit planned out. So like, I'm like, bam, bam, I'm hitting it. It's working. Like I'm like, fuck, like I'm doing good. And then like maybe when I had a minute and a half left, it starts, and I'm just like, whoa, like
Oh,
fuck, like,
shit, dude.
but and then I refused the milk because I had a beer. So because once your time is up, you have 5 minutes, and once your time is up, then you get a glass of milk.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm good. And he's like, oh, and I was first, dude. So like, he added more hot sauce to the thing because it must not have been hot enough because I didn't take the milk. But dude, no, like I spent the next half hour like nursing this like
So
wound.
you fucked up everyone else after you.
Absolutely, dude. So many people could barely get a word out, and like they were like walking like off stage, like putting their head against the wall, like everyone besides me did really well, but not because they were able to get their jokes out. Like I was the only one. Like that's what the host said. He's like, dude, he's like, you like did good because you told your jokes.
Yeah.
He's like, everyone else was really fucking funny because they were dying.
Yeah.
like one guy, like there's curtains along the walls. Like he like hit his head in it, and then like there was a trash can on stage. People were spitting in it. It was just like heinous, dude. Like,
Jeez.
like people were like, one guy thought he was gonna be hot shit. He like dunked the whole thing in, and like just fucking destroyed him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun though. Like I'm glad to get back into it. You know, it's like cool that we met. You know, it's, I feel like I'm back in a scene now, which is new.
Yeah, comedy works if you know people.
Yeah.
I can imagine it'd be like terrible if you don't know anybody. You're just going in there hoping you'll do 3 minutes.
Yeah. Well, fucking like,
No
I
one
mean,
likes you.
there's one place like, you know, up the street, Third Wheel. It's like, that's kind of like the gym of comedy, you know. It's like people like are really just working shit out there, and that's, I feel like a good place for comics to go if you don't know anyone or if you don't have any friends.
Have you made friends there already?
I know, like, I mean, just from going there enough, you know.
You're an outgoing guy though. I'm just like,
it's because I drink. It's because I'm a fucking.
Oh, that's right.
Because I drink alcohol a lot.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier. But I have been good at tethering it back for stage time. But then, like, right when I'm off, I'm like, fucking shots. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe I will go to the midnight mic. And then it's just like fucking bomb there.
Those are, you said that they were fun, right? Someone told me they were really good.
They're fine. They're fine.
Do you go to every night?
No, fuck, dude, no way. I have a job and like a wife and like a house and shit.
Yeah.
But some of these guys do not. But no, it's like the thing about a midnight open mic is like it's everyone. Most of the people there have been to a couple others that day, you know, or they were out doing something else and on a whim they decided to go. Like, I doubt that there's anyone that waits all night until midnight to go to this one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Have you been to one on like a Friday or Saturday?
Yeah. I did one on Wednesday there. Like, they're all right. Like, again, it's like a good stopping off point before you go to like some of the more established ones. You know,
regular people come by, like just normies?
Rarely. Like sometimes late at night, like the midnight one, you'll have like random people that just stop in because they see that something's open.
Sure.
But yeah, they did a dirty joke contest on Saturday, and I did that.
How was that?
I didn't win, but I did good, like, for sure. Because, like, I went in, like, with, like, offensive shit, you know? And, like, the thing was, like, no filming, keep your phones put away.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting folks to, like, drop words up there. No one did, including myself. But, like, the guy that did win, he won on straight gross out. Because he was, like, talking about learning how to change his baby daughter's diaper.
Yeah.
And, like, how, like, I don't want to get your
a little bit.
just like everything, like, and everyone's just like, oh god, but like, you know, I told some of my darker bits, you know, but yeah, I mean, I've been doing it and I feel good about it, you know. I can't wait to, you know, actually do shows instead of like my mic routine. But
for sure, dude.
Yeah,
I get you. All right, well, how about we end it there? I'll talk to you again. This is great. We probably did this for like almost 2 hours, I think.
I got nowhere else to go, dude.
Well, yeah, we gotta go to that mic.
Oh yeah. I don't
even know what time it is, but yeah, check out Culture Dumps and sign up for the Patreon.
Yeah, patreon.com/culturedumps. If you want to own a piece of history, you can go to culturedumps.bigcartel.com. And of course, Culture Dumps and Podcast 99 available wherever you get your podcasts. But really try and listen to them on Spotify or Apple, because those are the ones that count.